We want to turn now to Terethia, who's down in Shelby County. Terethia, we appreciate you calling in as well. Go right ahead if you will.
Yes, I had filed bankruptcy in 2018. They told me that my discharge would be discharged at in 2025, but it'll stay on my record. Well, I stay on my bankruptcy in 2027. I'm trying to find out why. What's the reason?
Okay. Hi, Terethia. So you filed a Chapter 7 or Chapter 13?
No, Chapter 7.
You filed a Chapter 7 in 2018. Chapter 7s unfortunately stay on your credit record for 10 years from the date of filing. So you have a little bit longer to go. The 7 years is with Chapter 13. So I'm not sure if maybe whoever you spoke with didn't exactly understand the timing, but a Chapter 7 stays on your credit for 10 years. After 10 years, it should just magically go off your credit report, but if it doesn't, you need to write to the 3 credit bureaus and ask them to remove that because it's been more than 10 years.
Terethia, thank you so much for calling in. That leads me to another question that a lot of folks have. When you're in bankruptcy, can you do something major like buying a house or purchasing a car? Can you do anything when you're in bankruptcy?
If you've filed a Chapter 7,
okay,
and I've pushed the button and you're in a 7, you're a better credit risk the day after I push that button than the day before. So chances are, yes, you'll be able to get a car loan very soon, possibly before the debt's even discharged, the prior debt's discharged. Now, might be higher interest rates.
Okay.
As for a house after a Chapter 7, 2 years from the date of discharge, Federal Housing Administration guidelines say that you can't be treated any differently than someone who's never filed bankruptcy.
Wow.
So I've got someone who's never filed bankruptcy, someone who has filed, credit scores are the same, income's the same, debt to income is the same. They shouldn't be treated any differently. In a Chapter 13, it's a little bit different. Okay. In a Chapter 13, we have to get permission of the court to do pretty much anything, to take on any new debt. So if we're wanting to buy a house, we have to get permission of the court to do that. Okay. If we want to get a new car, trade a car in, we have to get permission of the court to do that before that can happen. So you always, in a Chapter 13, want to stay in touch with your attorney. They're your attorney usually for 5 years, okay, and they expect and hope for you to call them and ask them those questions.
Okay.
Gina, we've been talking a lot about 13s and 7s, 7 being a total bankruptcy, cleans the slate, 13 being sort of a reorganization of your debt.
Yes, sir.
I don't want people to be concerned about that. When they come and see you, you will sit down and analyze their situation with them and help me with this. And you will help them make a determination about which of those programs will work best for them and their family.
Exactly, Kirby. You know, sometimes people come into my office and I know immediately that a 7 probably is the best way. Sometimes they want to do a 13, even though they're eligible for a 7. They have a feeling of they're compelled to pay their debt back. Oftentimes, people don't need to do anything. Okay. Oftentimes, I can say, look, you can call your creditor and get them to reduce your interest rate to 2%, and you can pay down the biggest debt first or the smallest debt. You can work it yourself out of it without filing bankruptcy. Okay. Trust me, if 10 people come into my office, there's a likelihood that 2 or 3 of those, I've probably given them all the information, but said, you probably can do this a different way. Okay. You might can call those creditors and work something out yourself. You may not need to file a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13.
Yes.
So, but I always go through all the options with them. 7, 13 if they're individuals, 11 if they're businesses, obviously, and 7s if they're businesses. But I give them other options as well. We negotiate a lot of debt for people. Okay. If they've been sued, we'll negotiate debt for them. We'll call the creditor's attorney and try to negotiate a payment plan on that one debt alone, or try to do a lump sum payment to get that debt to go away completely. So there's lots of options. We have lots of options that we can help people with.
Well, we have really covered a lot tonight, and we haven't heard from a lot of folks, but we know that folks out there have questions. So one more time, we want to give Gina's information. Her telephone number, 205-982-3325. Her website, GinaMcDonaldLaw.com.